Well, hello, everybody. It's Dr. Hank, and welcome to the Dr. Hank Show. We are just in for another treat today. You know what we do is we help people become their greatest possibility. And I know that, there's a lot of people that are in sales that we've attracted here today to watch this. Either you're watching live or recording of it. And you're going to love this because my guest, Leon Streete, he's a visionary marketing international coach coming to us live from the United Kingdom, a couple hours away from London.
Yep.
Leon, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Hank, and what a great introduction. I like the energy already.
Well, good. Well, I told you before the show we'd have some fun today, and we're going to enlighten and uplift. And folks, you are really, really going to love what, again, this is primarily on sales. And, I even like changing that word up from sales to offerings. What are we offering for ourselves? It's just a nicer, sweeter, word. And so this is really for all of you out there that are looking to grow your business, maybe in real estate, maybe in any type of business, because Leon really knows it. So Leon, if I can start that, my GPS to success, that out of the 5 steps, there's 5 steps into it. And the first step and the most important one is mindset. And I'd love for you to share with us on, and we're going to give it a free offer here today, and it's going to be a blast. But if you could share with us how to create a winning mindset.
How long do I have? I'll be very
as long as you want, but I'm cutting you off.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the quick version as quick as I think I can, and then you can kind of guide me on time.
Yeah.
So in order to cultivate the winning mindset, I'm going to give you a story. So up until the age of 25, I always landed on my feet in my career, in life, and things always went my way. And I always used to think I was just blessed. Yeah. And when I look back, I was never challenged. And it was up until that point when I got to around about 25, 27, I had my first child, my eldest son, Ruben.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. And the one thing that I remember is that I always wanted to be a millionaire at 25. And I was 27, had a child, I was married, owned the house, got the car, got all the debt.
Yeah.
And I thought, what happened to the goal?
Yeah.
So the thing that I want to get to is that in order to cultivate a winning mindset, you truly have to push to the next level to really find your stuff. And I like the fact that you say to become your greatest possibility. Yeah. Well, most people never encounter their greatest possibility because they play it safe.
Yeah.
And in order to create that winning mindset, you only have to look to the greats in sport, in business, in movie, and look at what risks did they take, how far did they push, how much did they go to that next level. And for me, that's what the next level and the winning mindset is all about. It's really pushing yourself to your greatest potential to see what the possibility is. And when you're there, this is the part that I want to add, and I'm going to conclude, and then you can ask me if you want to go deeper. When you get to that point of your greatest potential, just before you hit your greatest possibility, what you're going to find is that the trauma that's inside of you, your ego, that's where it's going to come up. And if you can work on that in your career and in your life, if you can find somebody who can help you to understand actually what were the programs you learned from 0 to 7 that now impact you as an adult, that's where you become your greatest possibility. So that is what will help you to cultivate this winning mindset. So hopefully that made sense, Dr.
Yeah. So you said 0 to 7, is that right?
Yeah.
In age, as far as how impactful that is. And of course, I'm a mental scientist, and so I get a lot of this, and I just love it and your understanding. And so so tell me, what do I do? Like, do I remember these things 0 to 7, or
Mhm.
do I ask what were my stories from 0 to 7, or
Yeah.
the first 7 years? So how would I be able to delve into that, Leon?
That's a great question. So for me, and how do I know this? Because I've done the work on myself. That's the only way you can find out this. You can read it in a book and you can learn, but you have to take physical and mental and emotional and spiritual
Yeah,
work on yourself in order to discover this. But I'll give you a kind of insight. So let's say you're in business, real estate, whatever kind of business you're in,
yeah,
and there's always something that you come across and it never quite works out. It could be something to do with sales, like you were speaking about. It could be marketing. It's
yeah.
some aspect of your business, and it's always something that you find difficult, you find a challenge.
Mm.
And what I've found is that in life, whether it's at home with you, your family, your wife, your husband, your children, whatever it is, for each and everybody watching and listening, we all have these blind spots, these things that just quite don't work out. Or you might say, why does that always happen to me?
Mm.
Yeah. These are your signs of what misbehaviors you have. And I usually call them blind spots for the clients that I work with. And I'm not a mindset coach, by the way, as you pointed out earlier. I'm a visionary marketing coach, but
Yeah, I
I've been
love that.
I've been in business long enough to understand that actually when you start seeing these blind spots and you can't explain what's going on, that's the point where you need to start asking yourself, like, what's going on with the programs that I'm running mentally? Because these aren't coincidences. These are the things that are actually slipping you up from going to that next place of your greatest possibility. And
Yeah,
so for me, it took me to really push myself when I went through a divorce, and I'll take you back, say, like 6.5 years. Yeah.
yeah,
And it was at that point, like my whole world kind of like just crumbled.
yeah,
But this is the cool part. Yeah. They say, you've got to hit rock bottom for you to actually go on and build. And that's right. You've got to get to the foundation. And so for
yeah.
me, what I found, Dr. Hank, is that I started to look like, where had I limited myself in my life up until that point, and why did I stop pushing for what I was dreaming of? And
Mm.
it was at that point I started to seek out the mentors. Like, what is it I'm missing? And it was never what I'm missing. It was actually, what programs am I running that are clouding me from what is possible for me as a vision?
Yeah, I love it, Leon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get God bumps. Most people call it goosebumps, but I got
Yeah.
God bumps here, sharing that, because that is exactly the case. And that, it's this idea about, and I love when you said build your foundation. And by the way, folks, I'm taking notes, and you should too. Being a mental scientist, I know that by writing it down and then reviewing these notes afterwards,
Yes.
it'll help
Yeah.
you, and it'll really help you. This just isn't about sales. This is really about you. We're looking at the core of you and what foundation, because even though you're going to be able to visibly say, hey, well, the same thing, I'm stuck here. The same thing keeps on recurring, and we are the creators of our own experience. So, in this experience, I did this. And so to be able to think about, what is and ask for, what is my foundation? What's my belief here that's going on? And can you give a couple of examples for us on this? I like the 0 to 7 because we're so impressionable.
Cool. So I'm going to reveal. So for instance, perhaps there's something that may have gone wrong for you. So for instance, I remember one instance in my business where I had I'm going to do the conversions because I'm thinking in pounds, but I'm going to do it to dollars.
Yeah.
I had an $18,000 refund from a client.
Wow.
And it came through. Yeah. And this is going back a few years. And this is at the point where I'm doing the work on me. I'm working with my life coach, going to the workshops and all these different things.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I realized, because I was doing the work, I was much more aware of how am I responding in the moment. And I remember at this specific moment where this refund came, and I remember my body feeling like, like clenched tight. And you mentioned God bumps a moment ago, but you know where like your kind of hair's going in, but for the wrong reason.
Right.
And I was and it was in that moment, Dr. Hank, I remember saying to myself, Leon, why are you reacting this way?
Yeah.
And so the example that I want to give you is that now, if you take on board what I said, 0 to 7, I learned from my mentor, it's called individuation. It's the point where we become an individual, which is why 0 to 7 is so important from, a developmental point of view, as you speak about, as sales and marketing people. Because if we walk around unconsciously, not knowing what programs we're running, we'll use them in adult life, but they won't serve us for what we need in adult life. They served us as a child.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, what is this feeling? And then I started to do some of the techniques and tools that I was given by my mentor. And what I realized is that I was carrying out behaviors of what I grew up with my parents who were not rich. Actually, we grew up pretty broke. Yeah. And so I remember what it was, the feeling of not having money. So when that refund came through, it was like I had this kind of, outer body feeling experience and inner body experience.
Yeah.
But it was not serving me, because that $18,000 wasn't going to stop my business, because I have enough cash in my business.
Yeah.
But it was so weird. And I just remember in the moment, it was like, wow. And so the point that I want to give you and the listeners is that in order to catch your unconscious behavior, yes, you've got to work on yourself, but you have to catch yourself with awareness of like, oh, how am I responding in the moment? Is that serving me or is that not serving me? And that's how I started to work on myself even more, Dr. Hank.
That's just beautiful. And I love this idea about how am I responding in the moment? How am I? And so a good guide that I always use for all of us easily to understand is when you're not feeling good in the moment, it means you're not thinking about this the way that your higher power, all that is thinking about this. And when you're feeling good, though, it is, and you're on your path. So really what it is that, oh, I'm off my path here. I'm not feeling good. Exactly. And then how to, be able to turn that around. And so I want to get, because I know you're just this visionary master at marketing, and so I want to get, and that's really a broad understanding for us to understand, wow, 0 to 7, and why am I feeling that way, and how to be able to do that, but to get into actually like thinking about attracting more leads into your business.
Cool.
And so how can each one of us attract more leads? In other words, we want to serve people. We want to help other people. And we all have these talents. And so whatever we're doing, that's our talent. And we're supposed to share our talents. So 100%. How can I attract more leads? And I think it's both organic and social media. And what are your thoughts behind that then?
Cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to link what we're just speaking about to what you're just talking about here. So the link is vision for me, and that's why I call myself a visionary marketing coach. So in order to live up to the possibility, that may be out there, or live up to your potential, your greatest possibility or your greatest potential, you have to have vision as a way of life. You have to see what it is that you're going to create. And so if you're in your business right now and you're thinking, well, how am I going to attract more leads? Well, you have to live in the moment of a future that you are creating now. So for instance, let me explain. If you have no vision, the way I see it is you have no target. So therefore you are not goal orientated. You are just living in the moment and going with the flow, but you might be going with somebody else's flow. So for me, if you're really going to be a success, you have to embody what it is for you as your vision. And the most people we look at are usually the greats, the heroes, the Steve Jobs, the Martin Luther Kings, Mahatma Gandhis. And we look at them and we say they were visionary. And for most of them, they hadn't fulfilled their vision. This is the really cool thing, what I really love. They were always in pursuit of the vision, up until their passing. And for me, this is why it's so powerful. So in our businesses now, how can we attract more leads organically and using different methods like social media or paid? Well, the biggest thing you can do is, what vision do you have for your clients? What clients do you want to serve? And the more you can understand your clients from these 4 areas, what are their frustrations? What are their fears? What are their wants? And what are their aspirations? When you start to understand your client from a psychological point of view, that's where you start on the path to winning. And now let me take it into leads. If you think about,
I love this, by the way, Leon. I just love it. I mean, really, everybody, kind of take a breath here, breathe in deeply, and just bring into, these things like, pursuing the vision and asking what is the vision. But I love this idea about what's the vision for my client, and to really get into, because when you understand and help them develop that vision, and you mentioned that, hey, it's about fears and
frustrations, wants, aspirations.
Aspiration, wants. Yes, thank you. And I have my notes. I couldn't read my notes there.
Okay.
and that's why it's so important to write this down as I'm writing it down, because it'll internalize for you. So with that, go on, because I know you're on another hot.
We're literally on step 1. So basically, with your audience, when you understand that about them, you understand what motivates them. Now, most people are motivated by what they want, because that's the desire of the result they're hoping to achieve with your products and services. So if your marketing message contains the desire, that will push them to want to take action. It's not that they will, but when you link that in your marketing message to the frustrations they can overcome, that's what will get them to move to the next stage, because they'll see, oh, there is my desire, the thing that I want. And that person understands what I'm going through. And now I get the feeling I can get the results, because they understand where I am, which is step 2, empathy.
So step 1, just to be clear, step 1 is?
Step 1 is really understanding your audience, frustration, fears, wants, aspirations. So the vision for them, who are they psychologically? And step 2 is empathy. Now, most people fall short when it comes to marketing, because they don't have a message that comes from a place of empathy. They have a message that says, hey, we have a deal, we have an offer, we have a discount, or we're doing what the other guys are doing down the road, or the other women are doing down the road. And there's no differentiation. But if you can speak to the person, if you can speak to them from this psychological place with empathy, that's where they pay attention to you. And that's where you find your space within the market. Because for me, I come from this place of abundance that, so long as you get it right with your audience, the message, you will always be able to create, the greatest possibility for yourself and the greatest results. And so for me, that's how you start. Now you take that message, and I'll give you a quick example, Dr. Hank. So, don't take too long, but you can understand where I'm coming from in a practical sense. So for instance, let's say we were thinking of a real estate business right now. It could be a consultant, a coach, it really doesn't matter. So what I would be doing is, if I was putting, let's say, something of value out into the market, like a lead magnet or a guide, even like a book, like we both have. So I would be thinking of, well, what is the hook? So the hook has got to be something that shows the person that I'm going to help them to achieve the outcome they want and get over the frustration and objection, because that's what frustrations are. They're objections. Right? So if I was putting a new guide out to the market that I was going to give away for free, opt in with your name, email address, phone number, that kind of thing. I would be thinking, what headline could I use to hook people in? So an example would be, first of all, you have to have something that directly tells the person in an almost, it's kind of what it says on the tin with a bit of curiosity. So one of my recent guides that I've got, and I'm just going to pull this up so I can use it directly here on the show, so I can use the exact name. I have a guide called the Secret Client Magnet, which I can give away to your audience for free.
Okay, so it's so cool. And it's called the Secret what?
The Secret Client Magnet.
A client
magnet.
The
That's it.
client magnet, the secret
That's it,
client magnet.
There
Great.
you go. Yeah.
And so
So
again, everybody, you're
instantly,
going to be able to get this here.
yeah. Now I'm going to tell you like kind of where the hook comes in. So with that, there's a bit of curiosity, but most people will know what that means. The secret client magnet. So it's going to magnetize clients to you, right? But here's the real part of the hook. This is the subtitle of the guide. So when I'm marketing, this is where I can now include both the want and the frustrations. The subtitle is how to attract 5 leads a day on social media and turn that into $15,000, 200 per month or more without running paid ads or having to do any networking.
Ooh, doggies.
Yeah. So what you can start to see is that I have the curiosity in the title, but the hook, the subtitle is what pulls people in, because now I'm giving them a want. I'm giving them a fixed time period, so in a month, and I'm showing them they can do it without their objections, their frustrations. So that's a quick example, Doctor.
That's great, Leon. And so, Leon, just to be clear, is that what you then do, is help people to go through that and to understand
exactly,
what is the title, if you will, what's the subtitle, and to be able to address that and what they desire. And so that's great. So with that, could you share with us, let's take a look at that book.
Yeah.
And so raise that book up. So more leads, more clients.
That's
and it's
it.
Leon Streete with an E at the end, and you guys
correct
his name. And in that is that available on Amazon?
It's available Amazon, all good book online stores, but Amazon you can get it. And it also comes with a 20+ page worksheet. So when you get the book, I think it's on page 8. There's a link in there where you can go and download the free workbook that comes with it. So it's a very very practical book, whereby when you go through the book, it will help you to create a marketing strategy. That was the whole idea of creating the book. So there was a practical outcome. And the subtitle of the book is the 10-step marketing manifesto to become one of the most valued and highly paid coaches in your industry.
Wow.
As you can see, that's the hook.
That's the hook. That's just great. So how would we, first of all, get that book for free? I believe you're going to offer that book. And how would we do that?
So if you do want a PDF copy of this, what I'd love for you guys to do is either connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn and just say, free copy of More Leads, More Clients, and I'll give you a link to get the PDF for free. That's it.
That's great. That's awesome. And we so appreciate that. And I believe you have some other offering that. And so what is that? Can you tell us a little about that?
So basically, I have the guide that I mentioned to you a moment ago, the secret client magnet. So it's a 15-page guide. And in that book, I actually show you how to create the hook, but then how to actually put it onto social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and to get people to raise their hands and say, hey, Hank, I want a copy of your book. And at that point, what do you have? You have a lead. And so the guide, it's very quick to go through. Like I said, it's only 15 pages. But then once you get the guide, I have a 12-minute video that accompanies the guide. And all of this is free, guys.
That's awesome.
That gives you a more visual explanation of what you can go through in the guide. So if you want to get a copy of that, as I said a moment ago, just connect with me, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm on YouTube as well. And just say, Leon, can I get that free guide, the secret client magnet?
The free guide, the free book, that'll get you started. And then from there, I assume they have a way to get a hold of you or what's the best way to then get a hold of you, or hey, I want to have a visionary marketing
sure if somebody's looking to go before COVID I was speaking internationally, and so I'm hoping that starts back up again. But if people do want to get in touch with me, it's very simple, guys. Once you reach out to me, I can then point you in the right direction of how you can get my direct support. So I do have programs that I help a lot of coaches and consultants around the world. I have American clients, European, UK,
Wow.
Southeast Asia. So I do work with a lot of people, as most of us do these days, StreamYard, Zoom, and so on.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is simply go to my website. It's leonstreet.com. And as you said earlier, Hank, it's with the silent E at the end.
Yeah, silent E at the end, and that
Yeah.
that just sounds fabulous. So we understand on how to attract more leads and the resources. Because again, we can't do it in a short webinar, but we can help you to start thinking, beyond where your current thought is. And we have these 60,000 thoughts every day, and 80% of them are unwanted or negative thoughts.
Exactly.
And 95% of our thoughts are the same thoughts. And what Leon does is he helps you to be able to expand instead of the same thought. Because if I have the same thoughts, I get the same tomorrow. And I want to change that tomorrow. And so I think just on one what is something as we're just about out of time here that as far as the show is concerned, because there's always plenty of time and plenty of money, and we all know that, folks. But what would you suggest? What would you like to leave us with, Leon, as far as your wisdom on what would be most helpful? Again, we have the guide, we have the book. I would suggest all of us do that. But what would you want to share with us kind of as your last thoughts about really to help us to become our greatest possibility?
I'm going to speak about marketing, Hank, and I'm going to leave you with, I guess, the thing that I drum into my clients quite regularly. And this is the thing, life and business, all of it is a constant test. We're testing whether we're performing well as a father, as a husband, as a business owner. We have all these different things, and somewhere along the lines, we normalize and find out, oh, I'm doing good here and I'm doing good there. And when it comes to sales and marketing, what I tend to find is that you get business owners who understand it. And this is the 1 to 5% who understand that actually, when I create my first advertising promotion or campaign or marketing campaign, I'm not going to win out of the gate. It's a test. And so what I want to leave you with is that as you continue to put your message out there, just understand that you're looking at this as a test so that you can improve upon it the next time, because the next time will come. And by the time you've run, I don't know, like 20, 30, 50, 100 different campaigns, you will start to see the patterns in what works for your audience and what doesn't. And so for me, I just want to leave you with this, that look, marketing is a science because you're constantly testing to find the winning control, the winner of your message. And at some point, your message will go stale and you will have to come up with something new. That's why you get the likes of Apple, the big companies. They release new products, they release new versions. They come at things at marketing from a different angle. So what I would say to you is just stay in your lane, but go for the long game. Because if you're trying to just get the quick wins, they don't last, and they're usually not to the level of your greatest possibility.
Oh, that's beautiful, Leon. I really appreciate you. And again, Leon Streete, more leads. Hold up that book again. More leads, more clients. And
that's it.
And he can help you. Leon can help you in order to do that with your mindset, on specifically with your marketing strategies, on whether it be social media, or every other way of doing it, that organic, to be able to do it organic. And so reach out to Leon. Leonstreet.com is where to reach out to him, get his book, get his guide, and see just what this can do for you, your business, and how to serve more people while you become your greatest possibility. And Leon, we thank you so much for being a guest today on our show. And we just love it. And we thank you for your wisdom, your encouragement, and your inspiration to inspire all of us to be, do, and have everything that we want. And so with that, Leon and I wish you goodbye, and know that everything you want is coming to you. High five there, Leon. High five, baby. Thank you all for joining us. And you know how to get a hold of me, Dr. Hank, Dr. Hank at drhank.biz. And of course, Angel Connections on Facebook is just a fabulous way to hear what that divine intelligence is sharing with you to help you have what you want. All the best. Love you.